Hello, everyone. My name is Jason Bitbender Brink, and I'm very happy to join all of you here in the Gala Games community with some of the amazing guys from the Echoes of Empire team. So, we're just going to give it just a couple minutes to allow people to join the stream, wake up, realize that there's something happening. Uh, and during that time, we'll just go ahead and chat. Do you guys want to do really quick intros? I think people kind of know who you are, but maybe we'll just do a little quick refresher on that.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'll go first, and then I'll be brief. I'm Cooper. I'm the CEO at HitFactor. We are you're going to hear us talk a lot about Ion Games and Echoes of Empire today. Ion Games is one of our internal studios at HitFactor team. Super excited to talk about Echoes today and everything that Mike and Yuri will talk about over the coming hour. And then lastly, it's Ion's big mission as to how we think about player ownership coming to the forefront of the grand strategy genre. So we're very excited to attack that problem, and Mike and you are going to talk more about that today. So let me turn it over to Mike. Go from there.
Awesome.
Hi. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes,
Is
yes.
this thing on?
It is on. It is on. We're good. I'm going to go ahead and turn up the volume just a smidge. Hey, it looks like we have Aaron popping back in. Give me just a second, guys. We're having
Sure thing.
quiet audio again. If you guys could go ahead and talk.
Yes, absolutely. I love talking.
Hello.
Test.
Okay. We should be okay. We're pinging the maxes on these guys. So let me know if it's super quiet and I can dig into it more deeply. But it looks like it's about where it should be. Let me turn up your volume. Okay, continue, Mike. Hit it.
So, I'm Mike Donatelli. I make video games. I've made video games for a long time. I'm kind of doing everything product related to Echoes, and and I can answer those kind of questions. You'll see me in Discord, Dapper Don. Again, Mike Donatelli. So you want to look me up, go nuts. I've worked on a lot of MMOs in my career, so it's all out there. Just Google me. Google the hell out of me.
Well, they will. Don't worry. They will go in deep. Okay.
Oh, shit. I'm
And
crap.
I'm,
Poo.
Pooh.
And I'm
Yeah.
Yuri. I lead the creative at Ion and HitFactor, and so anything that is art and design usually lands on my desk. At least that's what I'd like to say. And also been making games for a long time. Been in games publishing and variety of games in the past. Anything from CCGs to idle games to simulators. So very, very excited to talk about it.
Awesome. Well, we're all very, very excited to have you here. So, what I would like to do, I believe, if the community is okay with it, this is an AMA, which means that we will be taking questions, and we will be taking questions about everything having to do with Echoes of Empire, with a specific focus on Celestial Claims. But to preempt some of those questions, I think Yuri has a very short deck that he'd like to run through. Is that true, Yuri?
Maybe.
Maybe. Does anyone want to see a deck? Do you guys want to see a deck?
Well, if they only want to, if they want to see it.
Do you
It's
guys
cool
want to
stuff
see a
to
deck?
show.
Let's see. Let's take a little poll.
Okay.
I need somebody. Yes, a deck, Bucks. Why are you're supposed? Isn't it like sleepy time for you or something now? It's like 9 p.m. So I'm supposed to pour some wine and relax.
Are all these folks coming to the Galaverse?
A lot of them are. A lot of them
This is
are.
gonna be a good time.
It's going to be great. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Okay. I think they will concede. They will concede to having a deck displayed. So let's do it.
Excellent. Well, Jason, do you need a few more seconds to
No,
adjust
you're
it,
good,
or-
man. Hit
Okay.
it.
All set up. All right. Here we go. So you may have seen these, and they were posted a while back. And this is how the sausage is made. This was a proof of concept while we were still in the early stages of development on Echoes of Empire. And we've talked about it briefly at the last AMA. So if I'm repeating some of those notes, please forgive me. But I guess again, our audience keeps growing, so if you hear the repetition, we'll try to go through that as quickly as possible. So if you see these screenshots, you'll notice some of the leaks that we have in Discord. You'll see there's quite a bit of kind of, it's not so much a discrepancy, but there's been an evolution in the way the game looks now. And that's true. These represent an older, like I said, as we were just prototyping and mocking up scenes, we went through quite a big art direction overhaul. So now the game is, and I'm just gonna pause here for a quick second. Now the game is truly a unique IP. We wanted it to stand out. We wanted it to be memorable. There are a lot of sci-fi games out there. So for us, what was very important is for anybody who sees any kind of Echoes content, they can immediately recognize it. So Echoes of Empire is this hybrid of Art Deco, Art Nouveau, Vienna Secession art styles, or all combined together. We wanted to have this physical, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the next few slides. We wanted to have this physical component of this grand strategy. You're moving pieces around the board. There's the texture, there's the feel, there's the weight. So that's the promise that's the goal that we've set for ourselves, and that's where we're going. I want to talk to you a little bit about kind of what the game is, because we've had some of those questions when people saw the screenshots. Some of them were wondering if it was a flight simulator, space simulator. So this is 4X strategy games. Those are the 4 pillars. And again, we talked about it briefly at the last AMA, so I don't want to spend too much time here, but just for clarity. So the core pillars, there's the building, there's your home base. That's where you start. That's where you slowly build up your army over time. You go out and you fight other players, NPCs, and you progress on this tactical board. You gain territory control, you win, and for that you get resources that you get to invest back into your home base. And the reason why they call it 4X is the term that was coined in the 90s. The words don't start with the X. It's the exterminate, explore, exploit, and expand. It's the X's. But that's the game. And I'm not sure if Mike or Cooper wanted to add more to it, but that's, again, roughly a quick overview of what this game is going to be. I guess I would just say, because again, this is something that came up somewhere between Stellaris and Eve. This is closer to Stellaris, right? So just so people are not confused here. Okay, I'll keep going. So here is an example of our tactical map. Here you will see, and again, this is where I talked about this weight, this grand strategy. You see the pieces moving around. They look like chess pieces. They're heavy. You'll see yourself. You'll see your base more specifically. You'll see your base on the tactical map. You will see other players on the tactical map. You will see NPCs, and you will also see this celestial objects that are sprinkled around. They're different. So you will have asteroid belts. You will have some habitable planets or rocky planets. You will have gas giants and stars and space anomalies. There will be a lot of things for you to do in the game. So you can imagine that there will be a quest where you can go and explore an abandoned space station, and you will be you'll be attacked by pirates when you do so, right? So there's just stuff that will also continue that will happen on the board itself. More importantly, as I've said, other players are going to be there, and so you will see them positioned close to you or further away. You will see claims on certain celestial objects that would allow and buff the mines that are stationed on those celestial objects. So there's just a lot. There's a lot of going on, and I can spend a long time talking about it. I know Mike and Cooper might have additional notes. I'll just pause for a second to let them add.
Well, no, all I was going to call it is this is if you're looking, again, I don't know what time it is and what we're doing and how this is all going to roll out, but if you look at the claims that you're going to see, they resemble these objects because they are, once you get the claim from the land sale, you'll be able to go into the game prior to us going live, and you'll be able to select these objects like you're seeing what you're seeing on your screen right there. I'm pointing at the screen like you can see me. There's an epic there, and there's a rare, and there's a legendary even, right? And there's even some, I think there's a common right there, right, for the free-to-play players. So there is, this is where you would, maybe not this exact screen, but this is where you would search for the things you want and then put down your claim, and where your friends would go as well, and where your guild is going to go, and they're going to try to corner the market on a certain area of space. Like this is that map that you will interact with.
I gotta say, guys, this is just absolutely gorgeous. I know I say that every time you show me anything from this, but I love it. It's beautiful looking.
Yeah, just to hark back to kind of what Yuri was saying, is that the team has put a lot of effort and time and focus in ensuring that this stands out amongst the market of spacefaring games. And I think a lot of us draw inspiration from sort of the zeitgeist and what's we see in the entertainment world today too, with Foundation and Dune and all these beautifully cinematic universes that are being built. We want, as game creators and people who are part of that creative process, I think want to put our mark on that idea of the romantic, extension of human consciousness into space and what happens when that, occurs. And so we're huge fans of the art style, and I think it is reflected in the quality that you guys see here.
Excellent. And just on the note that Mike said, you will see, and I briefly mentioned too, you will see celestial bodies, which you can choose to claim, and it will be obvious if a celestial body hasn't been claimed yet or it has. And it's obviously it's not just the visuals. There are benefits to having a celestial body claimed by a player. Not just to that player, but to other players too.
Hey, Mike or Yuri, I think I have a question from the community that's been asked for over the past 3-4 days. There's four rarities of celestial bodies here. Where's the other two? What are we going to do with them?
So I can speak to a little bit of that. To at least I'll speak to the one end, and then we'll worry about the other end, because there are two ends here that you're not seeing. So the common, I think one of the maps Yuri may have shown earlier, but it's definitely on the website. It's definitely, we've been shared a lot in the Discord, is the map of the galaxy. And there is this section of space called house space. House space consists of 4 quadrant zones, all of which you can read about if you go to read Valentina's Adventures, and there's little secrets put in there for story hooks for the rest of the game. So I would definitely go back and reread it, because there's stuff in there that's interesting. And the idea is those zones are, it's like a PvE. That's the first 4 zones are like safe zones. That's where all the players are going to come in at the beginning, and they're going to learn the ropes. They're going to learn about how to build a fleet, and how important it is to have a capital ship as your flagship, and mining ships and probes. And you're going to learn all of that. And there's going to be resources there, but none of them can be claims. None of them can be land claims. None of them can be NFTs. They're going to be resources that are available to players to level up to a certain degree. And these are going to be common resources. Common resources available for everybody, but they will produce less than what an uncommon will. They can't be leased. They can't be owned. People could knock you out of them pretty quick. Like it's just the basic beginner level of resources. So that's where you're seeing there's no common here on that end of the scale, right? Those are just they're available for free to play players. But then it will become quickly apparent after you level just a little bit that if I spent my time mining a lease from an NFT, I would be earning way more. So I could progress faster. And there's even an opportunity on an NFT lease to get dust, which is this mechanic that is baked into all progression throughout the game. So the common will only get you so far. And then it just behooves you to either mine your own NFTs, or if you're an NFT owner who wants to kind of control the market, so to speak, in that regard, about getting leases in and building defenses and kind of that managing, like more management sim than the combat part of it, then you can do that too. And that's the common end. Now, I'm not going to talk about the other end because I have no idea how you guys want to tackle this.
I have just 2 comments here. The first is that you get extra credits. You get official Bitbender extra credit points for the use of the word behooves in conversation. Well done. I appreciate that. Secondly, the dust must flow. That's it. That's all I have to say.
I almost just spewed that all over my screen.
The dust must flow.
The dust must blow.
Flow. It doesn't blow.
There's
It
a
flows.
controversy there.
Oh, good God. What am I going to do with you, Aaron? Okay, sorry. I will stop interrupting. Continue.
Well, again, I bounce it back to you guys. Do you want to talk about the other end of the scale?
Let's not talk about the other end of the scale yet. Some
Okay.
things are better as surprises, I think. Would you agree with that sentiment, Aaron?
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, we'll let that one float for the time being. Like dust in the wind.
So, Mike, I've been
Yes.
trying to plan out which one to buy, but is that true that if I buy one of these on the screen, does that mean no one can steal it away from me? Right? Because 4S game is all about, stealing your land and pushing you out from that space, right?
So the way, and again, I recommend everybody who's in this AMA, after it's all done, get into the Discord, right? You can find me there as Dapper Don. I love to talk about game design and stuff, so I'm thrilled to death. I'll jump in there. I will wax poetic. You guys will hate me when we're done. But in the short term, I'll talk about it here, which is the claim that you're going to purchase today lets you get into the game like early, kind of, it's this thing we're calling the land rush, would get you early access into the game, right? So when the game is about to launch, we open up, like if you're familiar with other games, it's like early access, right? You get early access, right? So you might get, let's say, if you bought a legendary, you might get a week head start to get into the game, to start planning your thing. You and your guild mates have gotten together at this point. You're like, we're going to take this part of this cluster, right? And this is going to be where we sit. Like, you're going to do all this work. We wanted to make sure you had plenty of time to do the research into the game itself. And by the time we do this early access bit, you will have everything uncovered to you. All these things you will have all the information to make really good choices. So once you get the NFT, once you go into the game and claim it, that claim is your thing, right? You are in possession of that, and the claim, the planet, let's just say Deneb 5 is yours, and it can never be taken from you, right? It is ownership. That's what this whole thing's about. Now, you will have leases, right? You have mines that you will build on it, and each one of those mines will have leases. And I think there is a chart that is out there that we posted that shows you exactly what that means, how many per. But if I have, let's say, if I have 3 mines and 3 leases per mine, there could be 9 mining fleets at my gigantic, because remember, this is on a massive space size scale, right? So you'll have all these mining fleets there. And as a raider, a player raider or an NPC pirate, they would come and scan the lease. Oh, who's there? What's their fleet power? Do they have heroes engaged? Do they have base defenses? Is there, like, all these questions? And when they scan, they can make a decision then. Oh, this looks like it's a little bit too tough of a nut to crack. But what about this guy, right? But when they scan you have been alerted to the scan, right? So now there's this interplay between, the combat and the mining. And in the combat, the raiders, they get to turn around and say, I'm going after this guy. And then they go in and they fight. And there's a battle. And if you lose, if the miner lost, his fleet was not powerful enough to fight off the raider, then the raider will steal a percentage of the resources that he's been mining this whole time. The NFT owner will always get his, like, you can set a tax on it. You will get a portion of the stuff that is mined. So you as an NFT holder, no one's ever going to take this from you. This is
Right.
your permanent piece.
That's kind of central to the concept of having an NFT, right? It's yours. Would you say that from a game context, this is a little bit like having a planetary imperial charter that's been given to you by like the Padishah Emperor in Dune and backed by the Landsraad, so it can never actually be taken away. Like there can be some inter-house rivalries, a little bit of damage done to property, but the planet is yours. Is that a fair?
That is fair. Actually, somebody was in the Discord mentioned it, and I was kind of wait for it to come around how it's going to come in. But the fact is, there's a percentage, right? So the tax can be adjustable by you, the owner of the NFT. I'm going to tax my mines at this degree, right? Well, somebody 2 systems over may tax theirs lower, attracting more people, right? Like, so there's going to be this great, again, interplay. I hate to beat that word to death, but between these different guilds, these different players, and these different mining concerns, really. And the idea being that all of this, how can I put this? All of this tax, so when you do the tax, you're splitting it 50-50 with the Empire. The Empire protects your claim in the game. But that's the lore behind the conceit behind it, right? But the tax is there so that we can balance the game. So that there is always, you're building in scarcity, you're building in all these stuff. It's to control the economy so that it is stable.
Right. Somebody asked a question here that I, so Osprey from the Discord asked if you have an uncommon, okay, which I believe has 1 or 2 Discord resource spots, right? Will it lack one of the 3 resources? And are there any places that have all 3 resources?
So commons will have 1. Like they'll only have 1, and it'll be like subpar as to the output, right?
Right.
And there can only be 1 mine and 1 lease and all that stuff, right? Not a lease, but you will have to build the mine there. So then once you get into the uncommon and the rare and above, and again, that chart, I wish I could throw it up on the screen, but the chart really goes into the detail, which is you will be able to find some that have, maybe you find some that have 2 of the same resource. Like that's the whole thing. You're going to go out there and find the one you really, really want. And
I
then
think
the idea
I can
being,
actually throw it up on the screen here for you. 1 second.
You can also repost it in the Discord as well.
It's in the Discord. Yeah, I was just
Okay,
gonna
okay.
say.
Oh, dude, that's like 900 posts in the Discord since that was
Right.
the last. Somebody in Discord post that again, please.
I will go ahead and put it up on the screen though, just so people can reference it.
You want
Give
me to stop
just 1
sharing
second?
for a
No. You just keep sharing. I'll do it on my side. You do you, man.
So
give
while
me-
we're waiting, there's another question that I mean, I'm kind of notorious for asking developers about a little bit harder questions on AMAs, but this one, I think we must answer them in some form. So Jakisha said, please someone ask them how will fight to look like. Automatic, grid type battle. I think I've seen someone saying in Korean channels asking, is it gonna look like a Clash of Clan type of battle? So there's a lot of mystery around what the battle is gonna look like. So
I think Yuri has a slide for that.
Yeah,
Ooh.
and the thing is, we will. It's not. I guess a little bit of suspense. We will talk about the battle later. Not today. We will disclose more about the battle. Probably be a separate AMA for that because we know it's exciting.
But certainly how it's visualized as it relates to what it
Yeah.
looks like on the screen, we can show today.
Yeah, we can show some snippets of the visual, an appetizer, if I may. But it's we will definitely share it shortly. So
I've put that
can't-
chart up right now, guys. If you want to talk through any of that.
yeah, let's do that, and we can come back. I'll talk a little bit about the battle in the next few steps.
Okay, so it looks like we've got uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, and ancient, with various different resource spots. What are the resources? Do you want to run through that really quick?
Yep.
There you go.
So it'll be a mixture of organic, metal and ore, energy and ore. So it will be in the lore that we will share with you shortly. But it's the class.
perfect.
There are a few sets of resources, just to be clear. There are some that are available to you when you start the game, and the list expands over time.
Okay, perfect.
The
There might
3
be-
main resources in the game are
Well-
those 3 resources you see there, and those power all the industry, right? That's how you build ships. That's how you get knight heroes. That's how you do all the stuff at the most basic level. The dust
Okay.
then appears into
Well-
this thing where it becomes this thing that makes everything go. But there are additional resources that go into a different game component we haven't discussed yet. And that
Okay, well let's do this because I know that when we were originally talking about this, so to the community, we have actually hold on one second. Let me turn this thingy off so that you can actually see me because I'm looking directly at the screen. Where did it go? Okay, there we go. So to the community, you guys, one of the things that we've always tried to do is to answer your questions. And occasionally when we get kind of overly PowerPointy, people get a little frustrated and they say, you're not answering the questions, you're not taking the questions. So I had actually intended to stop the presentation of the deck at this point in time. There are further slides that they have put together that are quite lore heavy. Would be super interesting. You might actually want to see them, but I wanted to give an opportunity for us to just say, okay, no, we're done. We're only talking about land right now, and we'll only take questions for the next half hour. Would you guys like to see the other slides, or do you want to ask questions? If you would like to see the other slides, go ahead and let us know in the Discord, which, by the way, if you're just listening, I highly recommend that you join our Discord at galagames.chat. We're in the Echoes of Empire discussion channel right now, which is where we're taking questions. Normally, I would have a little thing on the screen where I would be seeing questions from YouTube and stuff like that. Due to the number of people on the call, can't do that right now, so we're only in our Discord. So, what do you guys think? Do you want to see the rest of the deck? Both questions. People want questions. Okay, but no lame questions. No lame questions, guys. Ah, it's interesting. It looks like people... Slides and questions, gameplay info, more deck, slides, deck, slides, both please. We will get to questions at the end. Okay, deck it is. Make polls. We'll make polls later. This is, we're just, going with discussion right now. Okay, slides. Dive in, guys.
Excellent. Well, here we
And
go.
just at that point, just make sure you do leave room for questions. So.
Of course.
Yeah, let's go quickly or faster.
So this is here's an example of your early home base that will this is probably something that you will see very, very early in the game, and it will grow and expand all the time. The other thing to note is you'll see here a capital ship parked at the home base. So that's an example. When we do talk about combat, we'll talk about the capital ships and support ships. There's a capital ship parked next to the home base.
Okay.
Here is so the home base is it's not just the economic powerhouse, but it's also or a place where you build your army. It's also a place for self-expression. So here are some
These are cool.
Cool.
decorative skins that you can equip on your
I
on
want
your- on
these.
your home
How
base.
do I get these? I want them a
Well,
lot.
well.
Or do we not?
When?
Are we not? When? Yeah, when? When
There's
skins?
lots of different ways to get them. Some
Okay.
within the game, some that are without.
Without the
Here's
game.
some-
Okay.
here's
I
some-
won't ask any more questions because I think that I know the answer, but I can't say the answer right now, is my thought.
Here's a couple screenshots from combat. Again, I promise we will talk about it soon, just not today.
Do you know what I really like about the design of your ships? Is that normally when you see like space ships, they stick with a very like Earth-based Navy feel, and everything is like long and well ship like if it were to float on the water. You guys are like, nah, we're making them vertical. That's what we're doing because we're in space. We can do whatever we want, and I really like that.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely ships that have more Earth-like feel, but they all inherit from this what we're calling it space nautical kind of theme. There are some ships that are more elongated, but there are quite a few that are vertical, and there are some that are twin-like They're the right side and the left side, or double deckers. So
I love it.
we have this rich world full of characters. Sorry, I'm just speeding up just to get through the few of these slides so we can answer these questions. But
I've gotten
the world-
so many comments on these, by the way, on Twitter. People love these.
Awesome. There's a story about where the game begins is when the emperor dies. It was a ceremonial role, but his death is a surprise. And so you as a player, I think I've seen a few people ask this question on Discord. Is you as a player, you are a low level nobility that had inherited a small space station, and you have most of your weight is behind your noble rank that is quite low, and not much else. So you will ascend through the ranks as you keep playing, and you will overlap with the three factions that we have. And the three factions, again, just very quickly, we have the royal faction. So when the emperor dies, the civil war kicks off, and so we have this royal faction, which was historically they were the rulers of the empire. There's the two siblings, the two children of the late emperor, who struggle for power. The royal faction ships are exactly what you've said, Jason. There are these long, tall structures, very pointy. They have this kind of the sail-like structure on some of them, and you'll see elements when we go through the few more designs. You'll see elements again of Art Deco, Art Nouveau sprinkled throughout them as an
Now,
inspiration.
quick question here, and I'm just going to throw these in as we go through. Somebody says, Cade says, he believes it was mentioned that larger ships like capital ships would be NFTs, but lower classes of ships would not be. They'd be database objects. Is that correct?
So what'll end up being is you'll be building units the whole time, right? You'll be leveling up,
Okay.
upgrading, building more ships, fighters, corvettes, things of that nature. And those, when you do your battle, those can be destroyed, right? But there will be your fleets, which will have a capital ship. Those
Okay.
capital ships will not be like those other ships. If that
Okay,
makes
cool.
sense.
So you're saying in the battle it might get damaged, but when
Yeah,
you bring it
yeah.
back, you can always fix it up and use it again.
Yep, you got to repair it, but and you may have to nurse your knight heroes back to health as well. But the ancillary ships will definitely will be destroyed, right? And again, that's part of the whole economic value of it all. You'll need to use your resources again to build up your fleets and so on and so forth. Constantly drawing.
I'd like
the
to
resources
answer a
out.
quick question here for Summer Fridays. Is owning a claim passive? Can you set it and forget it, or do you need to actively engage in harvest? There is always going to be a component of gameplay to getting anything out of any game. Like, that's absolutely critical. There will never be a situation where you just say, okay, yeah, I bought this thing, now give me money. That will never, ever happen. There will always be a gameplay component of some sort. So, just putting that out there.
Very quickly, the military faction, and this is a part of the military that rebelled under the leadership of General Albin Strauss, and their ships are quite different. They are longer, more squished, resembling some watercraft, but again, their structure, their anatomy is slightly different. And just a couple more
These are so cool looking.
sketches for what those will look like. And
They
the
look like
third,
guns.
Hmm?
They look like guns.
It's the military faction.
Yeah.
and the third faction, the commercial factions or the arbiters, they are a group of industries that got together, created their own military, and converted some of the commercial vessels into warships. And you'll see again there, when you see their ships, they're quite different. This is what they're the double, except for not the double decker vertical, but they're double left and right, and they have this dual structure.
So freaking beautiful.
And yeah, just more concepts, and another screenshots from the battle. So more stuff is to come.
I love it.
And there will be more leaks in Discord. Just
Hey, I got a few fundamental questions coming from the Korean channel. Is first of all, are the planets only source of dust? Is there any other ways of getting it? And the second one is, can dust be used to speed up anything, the travel, the building, the research in the game?
Let me tackle that. If you will use travel as the example, because that's a really good question. So please pass that along. Travel, right? So this game, like again, those 3 clusters that you're seeing, the map that we showed earlier, that's a very artistic representation of what the galaxy is, right? So house space, house cluster, that's not gonna, there's no NFTs in there. You can't claim that, and it's equidistant to the other 3 places, right? So people were like, "Oh my God, this cluster's all the way over here." It's like, no. It is central to all of the clusters. It's space. Imagine a giant square. So the idea of traveling from one place to the other, it's far. It's like 1 million map squares. Like, it's crazy the size of this game, right? It is massive. So the idea of traveling from one side of the galaxy to the other side of the galaxy, that's going to take fuel, which is going to be based off of one of the main 3 resources that comes off of NFTs. And you're going to travel, and you're going to have to, technically plot a course. Like, I'm going to need to get there this way, right? And it's going to take this much time and this much fuel. And that's simple. Okay, great. But dust, like, again, the point of dust is, like, dust is used everywhere. So if you're like, okay, I'm going to FTL my whole fleet, I'm going to have to use X amount of dust to do it. Right. And then if I want to get this blueprint and build a really, really fancy flagship for one of my fleets that I'm going to devote to mining, because it's got specific mining statistics, it's going to require dust. So progression up to a point will be from basic resources. That's to get everybody a fair start. They understand it. They're having a good time. It's all good. And then they have to start, when they realize, oh, there's nuances to this. And then that's where we get into the depth of it all, right? The economy is, like I said, there's however many levels of progression there are, and I could riddle them off, but every one of them is going to require dust.
I have another question here, and this is from Victrix. Will capital ships or other ship NFTs be sold in the future, or will they be constructed mostly by collection of resources and player construction?
Well, I mean, I guess we could stick a land. It's very, very important.
Yes.
But there will be other NFTs as well. Some of them will be capital ships. Some of them will be other ships. Like some of them. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go into that.
No, I was just going to say that my guess is with this sort of thing that what typically makes sense is that you seed the economy to a certain extent with a certain number of ships which people can purchase, because otherwise nobody has ships, that sort of get things started off. And if you have an absolutely amazing land claim that you are then able to support with some capital ships, then it becomes easier to kind of get a leg up.
So I think one of the questions, I'm not sure if I answered it, but it was something that somebody mentioned, which is, yes, dust comes from planets. That's how this works. Yeah. Land claims produce dust.
Gulven, capital ships won't be destroyed, but can NFT ships, which aren't Citadel ships, capital ships, be destroyed? I'm guessing if a ship can be destroyed and completely removed, it's not an NFT. We're not going to be burning NFTs. Mm-hmm. So if you build a little tiny scout ship and you send it out there and it gets vaporized or burns up an Atmo or whatever it is that happens to happen to the poor unfortunate little ship, there is no NFT that is destroyed. It is just a very sad ship and a very crispy pilot.
No, absolutely. Our fleets, the way, and I don't want to go down, and I don't want to go into this super deep rabbit hole, but I think people might be interested. You can have X number of fleets. And again, as you level up, as you progress through the game, right, depending on what you have, you'll have more fleets and even more fleets, right? And you'll be managing all those fleets. So the idea being is there will be you'll unlock a fleet slot, and then that fleet will require a flagship. Right? Imagine a giant ship that projects kind of like a subspace bubble around it so that it can take all the little ships with it where it goes, right? The little ships may get destroyed in battle, but that big ship, you're going to need that to build the fleet back up, right? So it will come back damaged, as Aaron said earlier, but you'll have to repair it, and that will cost resources.
Nice.
And
I
dust?
say that. Go ahead, Aaron.
That'll cost resources and dust, or is dust not used for?
Dust is a resource. Dust is used for everything. right?
Dust,
Like, again,
dust is
it's not-
important.
Dust is important. Yes. Without dust,
Dust must.
see, I keep not
Blow
wanting
or
to go
blow?
into the quotes of the other stuff, but yes, dust is important.
Nice. Okay. Yes. Quick question. I'm just going to deal with a couple platform questions here that people have. Gala Power is going to impact this. I do not have any specific details on exactly how yet, because the whole concept of Gala Power is very much being analyzed and worked with, and there's a bunch of other things that we're looking at potentially doing with it that will should make people pretty happy. Dust is going to be a token, yes. What else? I doubt that there will be any direct interaction of Vox in this, but that could change. Who knows? From an art style perspective, I don't. They're very, very, very different. So, you know, I don't really see a direct connection there, because what we always want to do is do what's best for the game, and if that doesn't fit in the game, then we're not going to try to cram it into the game. You know, there may be some other interoperabilities, but probably not on that specifically. And
Well, I mean, there could be a possibility with all the hero characters in the game that
Sure.
goes in. Those are pretty amazingly drawn up. Concepts are amazing. If we
yeah.
have enough of them, I think we might be able to pull something off.
right, but that would be in the other direction. Like, we might do similar to the fact that we're working on a Mirandus Vox drop. We could do an Echoes Vox drop as well, which I think would be super, super cool.
Okay, so I think there's one of the biggest questions that everybody has been asking, which
Hit it.
it hasn't been answered. We haven't been putting the information out yet. Is when beta play?
When?
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 Everything is about when.
I would doubt it would happen. No, I'm going to say doubt it. It's not going to happen in this year.
Right.
Yeah. But, you know, we do want to launch the game next year, so we want to get everybody in as soon as possible. So we were talking today about how we could accomplish that, you know, because, again, the core systems, the core functionality, you've seen screenshots. Those are screenshots, like the one that's right behind Cooper. That's a, you know, Yuri, that's a screenshot, right? That's in the game. So there's mechanics in there that are built in. The stuff that the heavy lifting stuff, right? How guilds work, AI, all this stuff is in there, right? I saw a map yesterday, and I thought about like blurred it out, Yuri, and like putting it out there, but the data map of all the data map of all the planets and how they are laid out like super far out, so you can see all the little colored dots and the gray dots and everything, and it's that
I want to see
hard.
that. You should send it to
Well,
me.
maybe I'll
and-
share it with you after. I can't trust you, man. That stuff's
Hey,
gonna be
hey,
in Gala,
hey!
like 10
I won't
seconds
give it
later.
to Eric. I won't give it to Eric. It's safe.
All right,
I'll show
let
it
me-
after this.
Okay,
But
so
that's the heavy lifting, the heart. That's all in. That's there. We ran around it. We showed you guys at Gala. That's like the core loop. That stuff's there, but it's not playable, right? Like if we put people in to play it, it wouldn't.
Mike, let me put it this way. I know when, I mean, all the developers gets very nervous when we, you know, ask them to reveal what date the game comes, right? I mean, I've been in that shoes before, but this is another question. When Land Rush? Is it first Q? Is it third Q of next year? Is it going to be
The
year
way we
after?
wanted to do it, and unless we can figure out a different way to do it, the way we wanted to do it was to do head start into the game, right? Because we don't want to do we do want it to be fair, right? Like we don't want to give people months ahead of time before everyone else can log in. So we wanted to do it where we lined it up to launch, right? So If you bought a legendary, you may get a week to get in ahead of time and get started, right? Because you know, and then we'll get closer and closer, you'll get less and less time to go in and do your thing, right? So again, I imagine there'll be people who buy a legendary and a bunch of other ones and just go in and claim all that. That's fine, right? You get to claim all your stuff. But I was hoping it would be like around a week before the game launches. That doesn't have anything to do with beta. Obviously, we're going to beta test the thing before we go to launch, but that progress won't persist, if that makes sense.
And specifically the different rarities of land claims, to be clear.
Yep.
Okay. Very cool. Well, we've got a few more minutes here. Let's see if there's any. Will the game have a mobile feature to manage mining? I like this question.
Well, when someone asked me if we were going to be mobile, we have discussed the opportunity there, but our game is PC.
Well, right.
This is more as a companion app.
Exactly. I'm thinking more
yeah.
like a companion app where you can, when you're out driving around, you know, you've got a.
Yeah.
I mean, because one of the things, like when I played Eve a lot, I spent a lot of time playing Eve. I always wanted to be able to, like, if I had my phone with me, to go and select my next research, you know, things that I was doing while out driving around.
Yeah, you want to keep the trains moving.
Exactly.
So we're definitely talking about that internally,
cool.
and understanding sort of where that fits in the roadmap, sort of pre or post launch. You know, for us, it's really about how players and guilds manage their economies, especially at scale, when they own several pieces of their kind of galactic neighborhood. It's really important. So we're looking at it for sure. It's in active discussion. We're not yet ready to say, yes, we're absolutely going to launch with the companion app, but I think we definitely understand the utility of it and how that would be useful to players who own quite a bit of land. So very much a top of mind today. Yeah.
Next question from Family Man. Is there anything that will prevent powerful characters from preying on the weak or new characters?
So, again, I mentioned this a little bit in the Discord over the last couple of days, which is that PvE, the house space is safe. Like you can park your I don't know, again, right behind Yuri's head is the home base. The home base is mobile. You can take the home base and move it. You're going to want to, right? Your guild's going to want to go someplace and do something in the core. Like you're going to want to move this thing around. And the idea being is if me and let's say my guild or a group of people got together and we're like, we're going to grab this area of space in, let's say, the Pale, we would move our home bases there because they will be very close to our NFT mines, so that the travel time between these things will be nil. And then less travel time and less cost means more profit. That's how this all works. Or again, somebody asked me this: can I play completely PvE? The answer is yes, because you just park your home base in a house space. But now, once you get to a certain point, remember I said earlier, once you get to a certain point, those common mines won't cut it anymore. You're gonna have to send your fleets out into that space, right? But the hope is, again, I don't want to go into the too gory detail about it, but the core, which we have not talked about, I think will draw the attention of many of these very powerful players that you're worried about, because that's where they're going to want to go, because there is other content there.
Right.
We're not talking about today.
Right. Don't want to get too much into the leaky leaks here, or Atomic 654 will get too excited. Let's see, anything else that we want? Talk about thoughts regarding play to earn elements. Win battles, gain dust, build your empire. I'm guessing that the primary P to E element is primarily going to be focusing around resource collection and then creation and sale of stuff. Is that accurate? If it's not, please tell me. That's fine.
Made the mistake of reading the Discord.
Oh, you can't read the Discord while we're...
No, I'm just saying, what did you say?
I said that
I'm going to hide the Discord now, so I'm not trying to answer questions in both places.
Play to earn is essentially, in my feeling, is that it's probably going to be mostly based around resource collection and manufacture and sale of stuff and ships and troops and things.
And,
Yeah.
and the dust as well, right? Because
Well, of
again,
course,
dust
dust,
is
yeah.
going to be, again, everything.
dust must
Manufacture,
flow.
trade. The dust must flow. So yes,
Okay.
the dust is an integral part of every progression vector in the game. So that is going to become a hotly contested resource and can only be drawn from NFT celestial claims.
Wonderful. That sounds absolutely amazing. I'm seeing a lot of pictures of leaks. My grandmother. Go ahead.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't have just said that. I seemed so eager about that. Maybe
Oh!
I seemed eager. Oh.
Well, just you pretend you forgot your thought, and now you're going to talk about something else. It's fine.
Well, what about that thing, Yuri? Wasn't that also in the deck? That thing? Or are we not talking about that thing? The thing, Aaron, we
What's the
talked about
thing?
yesterday.
What's the thing? I have no idea what that thing is.
I don't know
You
what
can
the
go
thing
in
is.
Slack.
I don't think we're talking about the thing, Mike.
We're not talking about the
Come
thing.
on, man. All right, fine.
No thing. Sorry, guys. No thing. Okay. Dust. Oh goodness, so many questions and so many leak pictures. Are there any? Oh, this is a cool question, and I love this as a general idea. Are there any plans to cooperate with other NFT projects for avatar characters as like a PFP? I love this as an idea.
Ooh.
Ow. See, I don't even know. It doesn't even seem right that it seems to be kind of lit up with exactly what I just shared with you guys. Yes, absolutely. I would love to do that. Like, that's the whole thing, right? That's what makes the whole NFT space so interesting.
So cool, right?
Because you can do things with other developers, like cool things, like say, hey, your thing, let's bring it into our game and do something cool with it here, right? And then the tech allows us to do that, right? It allows us to look at it and go, oh, he has this thing. We're going to make this deal. And then everybody. So yeah, I think it's a super cool thing. I love profile pics. These guys they'll tell you, Cooper and Yuri, I'm constantly talking about PFPs, and everyone's like, will you shut up already? So
Yeah.
I love it. And I think also profile pics that convey bonuses, we already are doing. So
And
there's
yes,
something over here in another thing.
in another thing that we're not talking about right now.
Ah,
Moving on past it, moving along. Yes, nodes will receive dust if they are operational, of course. Galaxy Warrior avatars. Oh, I really do like that idea. Oh,
Okay.
man. So they're going to get angry at me for talking about this.
No,
Yuri,
you know
do
what?
it.
Let's talk about the thing. I think I remember what that thing is. I have like 100 different things that pops to my mind, but let me
You know
see
what?
which one they talk
Aaron
about.
said, let's talk about it. I have no idea what it is. Mike
Ambiguity's
wants to
killing
talk
me.
about it. Yuri has it to talk about. Cooper, can we talk about the thing? I don't even
Let's
know
do
what
it.
the thing
Let's talk
is.
about the thing.
We're talking about
pull
the
it
thing.
up, Yuri.
Wait. Am I dropping it into?
Nah,
No,
share
no.
your. I mean, you can
Drop it,
share.
share
Do
the
whatever you
screen.
want. Share your screen
Okay.
if you want.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me.
If it wasn't so well dovetailed into the question, I would have just shut my mouth about it. But people are actually talking about it, so.
You know what?
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead
Oh
and
wait,
do is.
now Aaron's looking and going, oh wait, maybe this was not a good idea.
No, have you started sharing your screen yet? You haven't
No,
started
not
sharing
yet.
your screen.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
You know what I could do? I've currently turned off the Zoom feed, so all that people can see on this broadcast is a blue screen with the Gala logo on it. So I could just leave it like this for a little bit as you share your screen, and then we'll talk about how cool it is.
Oh,
and
that's a
how-
good idea.
how
Yeah, 'cause
amazing.
then everyone can tell me that I shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah,
Cruelty
yeah,
knows
there
no
you go.
bounds.
There you go. Okay, Yuri, go ahead, and then I'll turn it on for the people.
Wait, am I presenting it? I am presenting
It's
it.
what
Yes,
he's
you are.
saying. You
I
put
guess
it
so.
up.
Yeah, present it.
Okay.
Dude, you're gonna leak it.
All right. Here we go.
This,
What?
right? This thing was going to be a gift. Yeah?
What?
What? I don't know if we're
God.
talking about that part. Are we talking about that
What?
part?
Are you sure? We're not selling?
No, I thought this was going to be a gift.
Aaron's like, what? What
Oh,
is
God.
this? This doesn't make any sense. I'm
Dude, it was in
confused.
it was in the channel.
Go ahead, remind me.
All right.
Ma-
This was going to be a gift
God.
to all our Gala Gold friends,
What? Okay.
and
Okay.
that it would convey a bonus when you put it in your profile, right? Because in our game, you have a profile, right?
Ah.
So you have a profile picture, and there'll be a number of basic ones when you start the game. You can choose, and that's what it's going to appear to other people when they go to raid you in your mine or go to click on your claim to ask you if they could lease it. Like the land claim will have your PFP, right?
I like
so
it.
The idea was that certain PFPs will convey certain bonuses, and that this PFP would convey a bonus of reduced travel time for all probes.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
And it was a present.
And I think
That's
it
the part
will.
that I don't remember. I mean, it looks all goldy, sparkly, you know. Oh, that's why
it's-
it's going to the gold.
Yes,
Yeah.
gold, goldy,
Yes.
sparkly.
All right, all right.
Light dawns upon Aaron. Okay. Wonderful, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We're reaching the end of the hour, and I think I have like 4 more things after this. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. But yeah, you guys are absolutely amazing. I can't wait for this game. I love the art style. It's the prettiest stuff I've ever seen, and I cannot wait for all of the awesome opportunities we're going to have to hang out in the near future that I'm not going to talk about, but that people who are paying attention should be able to draw necessary conclusions and make the arrangements needed to be able to be a part of that. So any final closing thoughts from anyone?
I'll just say thank you, again for the opportunity to talk to you guys, and we're always around. Keep the questions coming in Discord. Mike's going to be in there. He lives there now, so we're happy to keep answering those questions as they come up. And we're going to do more of these. So as the game progresses and as we have more to share, we definitely plan on doing several more of these. And yeah, the team's super excited. And yeah, thanks again.
And most importantly, we're gonna be at Galaverse, the whole team, and the super amazing cool
Oh.
stuff that we haven't told about because
That
it's
was
the other
that's what I
thing.
was hinting at, Aaron. I didn't know
Oh,
we
was
were
it?
allowed to say that. Are we allowed to say that? Did everyone know that?
I mean,
Did you just
is
did
that
you just
obvious?
did you just alpha the entire stream? Did you want to share architectural drawings too, and maybe some
No.
videos?
Well-
No, we're good.
We're good. We're good. I think that's enough.
Awesome. Well, everybody, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you all very soon. I'm going to go ahead and kill the stream now, but a few of us will be hanging out in Discord because we're always in Discord. It is a Gala Games promise, and if you drop in, there'll always be someone to say hi. So yeah, we'll catch you guys soon. Bitbender and everyone else out.
Bye.